Tonight we're gonna make love. You know how I know? Because it's Wednesday. And Wednesday night is the night that we usually make love. Monday night is my night to cook. Tuesday night we go and visit your mother. But Wednesday we make sweet weekly love. It's when everything is just right. There's nothing good on TV. You haven't had your after-work social sports team practice, so you're not too tired. Oh, it's all on. You lean in and whisper something sexy in my ear like, I might go to bed now, I've got work in the morning. I know what you're trying to say, girl. You're trying to say, oh yeah, it's business time. It's business time. It's business. It's business time. I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to say it's time for business. It's business time. Ooh, it's business. It's business time. Oh, yeah. Then went in the bathroom, brushing our teeth. That's all part of the foreplay. I love foreplay. A shake, a shake, a shake, a shake, a shake, a shake. Ow, ow, ow. And you sort out the recycling. That isn't part of the foreplay process, but it is still very important. Next thing you know, we're in the bedroom. You're wearing that baggy old ugly t-shirt you got from your work several years ago. You know the one, baby, with the color stain. I remove my clothes very, very clumsily, tripping sensuously over my pants. Now I'm naked, except for my socks. And you know when I'm down to just my socks, what time it is. It's business. It's business time. You know when I'm down to my socks, it's time for business. That's why they call business. It's business. It's business time. Yeah. Make love.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome in. It is Wednesday. You know what that means.
Make love for two.
It's the day that we usually host a podcast. Jeffrey, how are we doing, my friend?
Been better, man. Been better. I think I told you
I feel your pain.
I went to Miami this weekend, right?
Yep.
So we went down to Miami. I start feeling a little icky on Friday morning, whatever. Hop in the car. We drive down to Miami, check into the hotel, get there very late. I think almost like 11 o'clock. Check in, grab some food real quick, go to sleep. Feel terrible. Wake up Saturday morning, go to this birthday party at 10 a.m. Everybody at the birthday party is like, you look like you're gonna pass out. And I'm like, I'm not doing real well, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I end up spending the rest of the birthday party down in the apartment instead of outside because everybody was worried they were going to have to call an ambulance to get me out of there. So I ended up catching a bug from the baby, some kind of virus. And I went back to the hotel. I slept 17 hours straight. Never left the hotel room until we left to leave. So I literally went down to Miami, never did anything except for see the inside of my bed and the inside of my hotel room and the inside of our family's apartment the entire time. So
I'll tell you, dude, if the next pandemic comes, there's no way that you and your family don't have immunity to everything that's out there by now.
So I went to the doctor yesterday. They tested me for COVID and all this stuff, and they're like, "You're fine, but you're still really bad." I still can't stop coughing. I can't be around people. On the bright side,
you're here looking good.
I've lost 8 pounds.
Ooh, nothing like good weight loss, while you're sick.
I lost 8 pounds since Friday. I just weighed myself and I was like, oh, that's okay.
Hey, sometimes, yeah, I mean, it sucks to get sick down in Miami, but sometimes going through it, man, really helps the body reset.
I I ate like a few slices of pizza on Saturday night at one point. My wife woke me up, so was like, "Here, eat this pizza," which, and it was a great idea, in theory, but the pizza was a white pizza, heavy with truffle and mushroom. And when you haven't eaten anything in a while, that was a poor choice on me, right? So like, and especially when you're coughing and not doing well, then everything that you taste coming back up is just straight like herb. It was a mistake. It was whatever. We're gonna move on from it. But I'm out of work until Friday still. So it's I literally I wouldn't wish this on anybody, man. I'm talking about chills, like fever, a nonstop coughing. It's been brutal. So and both the babies have it now. My wife has a little bit of a tick of it. My sister-in-law has a little bit of it as well. My father-in-law. So it's like,
I'm telling you, the next thing that comes, your family is going to be golden.
Well, it's like it's just a cesspool. There's 9 of us in this fucking house, and it's like one person gets something, it doesn't matter, and you can't escape it. Where are you gonna go?
There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to go. And look at you. You're here. I mean, you look beautiful today. I thought when you showed up, it was a very vibrant look. I actually didn't know. I thought I was a little underdressed. I didn't know if we had a special segment coming on.
No, nothing like that.
It's been while I haven't been sick, it's just been an absolute brutal week for me this week on the stock market. Yeah, I pretty much gave away like a month worth of gains in 3 days. It's been just wonderful. So while I'm not with you on the sickness level inside, I'm a little turned over. And we do have a quick show for you today. Do we have the Gap Wedge Wednesday boys today or no? Are you guys doing that today?
I think we're taking a week off, I believe.
So you
might have something coming out later. So
yeah, you might have something coming. So it's going to be just us today, and we're looking at it's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. Obviously, there's not a whole lot going on in there. We're not really going to start getting into baseball until All-Star break. We do have a couple breakout seasons happening going on in MLB right now, but we'll save that.
Even though our teams are playing right now, and you guys did get the better of us in extra innings yesterday, so congratulations.
I think you still won 2 out of the 3, right?
We played at night. I know we played tonight. I don't think did we play Monday? I don't think we played Monday, did we?
Oh wait, we played today and tomorrow. So
yeah,
that's 1, 2, 3.
I don't think we played Monday. We played a doubleheader. We played a doubleheader.
We played yesterday. Yesterday was the first game. Yeah. I think we played like last week though in Atlanta. I think
maybe I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I know we had a rough series with the Padres, and we're waiting to get some guys back off of IR or IL. What's it called?
So we played a 3-game series, the 13th through the 15th in Atlanta, where you guys took 2 out of 3. So this is just a payback. So now we have a 3-game set here.
Buff can chime in and educate me on what's going on in Braves baseball right now. And considering how tough your fantasy stuff is going right now, I'm sure too.
I'll tell you, you guys are locked in. I made some pretty good moves. I made some pretty good moves. Obviously, my debacle from not drafting didn't help. But I've made some pretty good moves now, and I'm feeling pretty good with my roster here. And I know you know the names. I know you don't really, but I got Jonah Heim. I got let's see, who's this? Josh Naylor. I got Ozzie Albies, Marcus Garcia, Oliver Cruz, Bo Bichette, Joe from Pittsburgh, Michael Harris II. I know you know him. Christian Yelich, Josh Lowe, Seiya Suzuki. What's this guy? Luis Rengifo. And a sleeper pick that I just picked up was Brenton Doyle. Then, of course, I have Trey Turner and Josh Young on the bench. But me and Buff just did a blockbuster trade last week where I sent him the #1 shortstop and Bobby Witt Jr. for one Grayson Rodriguez and O'Neal Cruz. So there was a couple of
Waldrop coming up soon, and that I'd rather struggle now than have a great have a great season and shit the bed later. And I always say, Buff, when it comes to fantasy, a lot of people play to win weeks 1 through 13. I play to fantasy to win weeks 14 through 17. So I completely agree with you there.
Absolutely. You build to the end. And that's one thing that we learned together a little bit last year. It's not necessarily about making the pickups and acquisitions for that week. I do like the other format a little bit better, but whatever. That's just noted. Let's get into the NBA. We do have the Eastern and Western Conference Finals coming up to set the stage for that. Dallas did knock off the Thunder 4-2. I thought it was a surprising. I thought that young Thunder team was going to be able to at least take it 7. They just kind of fell apart. You know, some of these games, I don't believe that the NBA is scripted, but sometimes when you watch some of these games and some of these series, the way it goes, it's like, okay. So like we're just not okay. We're just not going to do this now. Okay, all right, whatever. Yeah. Timberwolves beat the Nuggets 4-3 in Game 7 in Denver. I didn't see that one coming as well. And they I know that the game was like 8 at the end, but it was a curb stomp. I think they were up 25-30, and then the Pacers.
So the Nuggets were up 20. The Nuggets were up 20 at 10:58 to go in the third quarter against the Timberwolves. And then from then on out, the Timberwolves something clicked, man. And it's funny. I love the Timberwolves in this series just in general. I didn't know if it would go 7. I made a couple different bets here and there about the Timberwolves beating the Nuggets. Fan James Lee, who I know listens to the show as well, and we always appreciate your support there, brother. Listen, the Timberwolves are for real. They have the best defense in the NBA. They're a little bit deeper, and I said all year, I think the problem with the Nuggets is that you don't have a guy like Bruce Brown anymore, right? You don't have that firepower coming off the bench. It's not because it's not Braun. Braun is a nice little piece for you to have, but when you have a guy like Bruce Brown who can come off the bench and get you 20 on any given night, that's a kind of different dynamic. They didn't have that this year. I think they need to have that next year because you can't rely so heavily on the first 5 that play and then be sending guys out there like Watson and Braun and just like very like really weird key pieces that don't all work together. What up, Justice? And yeah, I think the Minnesota Timberwolves, they have the number 1 ranked defense in the NBA for a reason. And you saw a lot of these games. What would happen is they would just turn to blowouts because Minnesota's defense feeds off of smell and blood. When they think that they have you in a position, it is straps on, locked down, turn the lights off, and you're going to go ahead and get this. Okay. And that's pretty much the way that it is. And I don't see that changing a lot coming up. I know we'll preview the series here in a second. But just big shout out to Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. And I was saying this during the game. I was like, I don't think if you're not a Nuggets fan, there's no way that you're not rooting for the Timberwolves. Just because the way that they play the game, the joy that you see Anthony Edwards and these guys play with, I think is incredible and dynamic. And I'm just happy for Minnesota and for their team as well, too.
I think I saw the Joker played all but 1 minute of that game, and it definitely showed at the end.
Exhausted. At one point, he was 0 of 7 from the 3-point line. I think he finished 2 of 10, maybe, or something like that.
What I didn't understand is when they were up 20, why let him get some rest, right? Like, you let him sit a minute.
Mike Malone's a hard ass, bro, and he's probably one of the most unlikable coaches in the NBA, honestly. And some of the comments that were made by the Nuggets after the game as well, too, when you looked at Mike Malone and, he basically him and Jamal Murray, people asking, how does it, you're up 20, what changed, this and this and this. And they're like stupid fucking questions. Like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. You're reporters. It's like, you're salty, right? And you're acting like a child.
Mike Malone seems to me like he's one of those guys that just wants to be buddy. Like, he wants a little bit more like the light of being in the NBA, not just coaching. Like, when you listen to him talk, like, it reminds me a lot of you. Like, there's a lot of times when you say stuff and I'm like, when did Jeff go hood? When I was watching one, I think it was maybe his
tell him, Justice, I'm adopted.
His press conference at the championships. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess this guy's from the streets. I don't know. But yeah, it was a very interesting dynamic. Right. And when we look again at scripted things, I don't know. It's one of those things, but we're gonna get into that series. Pacers do beat the Knicks.
You think? Wait, reverse real quick. You think that the NBA wanted their MVP of the league to get bounced out by the Minnesota Timberwolves at home.
I think they gave him the MVP just strictly off being. I think he should have had it last year. I think that there was a fair
argument, but Embiid was so good and played the whole thing.
Right, but I think there was more last year to say that he got it this year versus this year, and I think that they just gave it to him this year because his numbers were similar, and he didn't get it last year, and they won the chip, and I do believe all of that carried over. However, I think now, as we've talked about numerous times, we're trying to move to a different face of the NBA. Obviously, Anthony Edwards has taken over, taking the NBA and the fanhood by storm by his comments, the way he keeps it real, just the way he talks. And I think it was more beneficial to have more than one team that, is dominating, right? I mean, if even when the Bulls did their 2-3-peats with a year or two gap, like that's not good for the NBA when you have one team that just continues to win over and over and over again. You want multiple teams to compete. You want multiple markets to be exposed and brought to light. And I think that was a little bit more of that, but I don't know. I think Joker was ready to go back to Serbia.
I don't disagree with that at all. And James Leake actually came out and said that like after game 2, he's like, I think he's just done with the season. He's ready to go. I don't really think it matters that much, but I think if you were a Denver fan, and I was to tell you going into game 7 at home, that Jokic and Murray are going to combine for 69 points. I think that you would take that all day, every day, and not even think twice about it. Yeah. And also have Anthony Edwards come out and go 6 for 24 from the field and 2 for 10 from 3. I think you would take that as well too.
Fire, right? Their shooting percentage was something like almost 69% or something.
For what?
Their shooting percentage in that game 7, Minnesota's
39.2. They did not shoot well.
That was not the game then.
No. That you're talking about game 6. Game 6 was they lost by Denver lost by 40. The Timberwolves shot under 30% from 3. The thing about the Timberwolves and the thing about Anthony Edwards in general, and this is I think where the comparisons to Jordan come in, is when you would see Jordan struggle sometimes, Jordan would make his defense turn to offense, and he would get himself going off of that. And if you see Ant, there's so many times when and Ant came out and said as soon as the game was over, I'm excited I got Kyrie. I already know my mark for next series. And he takes that on as a badge of pride where he's excited for the challenge and he wants to rise to the occasion. And you saw him rip Murray a couple times. One specifically right there at the end of the third quarter where he just rips him at half court, goes down and gets a dunk. And all of a sudden the momentum has completely changed. And they do that. They turn their defense into offense, and that's what gets them going. And that's when they smell blood in the water and they start trapping things. And it's just,
I do love his defense. Marcus, I just want to touch on what you said here for a second. Yes, the Minnesota market is bad as Denver, and I'm not talking about necessarily market bias. I'm just talking about getting new blood into the front, into the face, right? So Anthony Edwards, as Jeff has been talking about, is saying that he thinks that Anthony Edwards is now the face of the franchise. Well, it doesn't do very
NBA,
much if the face of the NBA isn't playing. That's what not necessarily the market that he's in. Although when you do get that team in front of a bigger national audience, you will start to get a little bit more following for that team as well. So, but yeah, that's what I was referring to. The Pacers do go into MSG and beat the Knicks in Game 7. I think this was just a case of the Knicks were just too beat up. I mean, they were exhausted. Jalen Brunson wasn't 100%. He ends up fracturing his hand in the later portion of the game. And of course, when you lose Jalen Brunson, you're just not going to compete against that Pacers team that does, to your point, have a lot of people that can come off the bench and contribute. We did get robbed of a Boston New York series. And I know that we talked a little bit on pre-show. It's not to say that I wanted it. I love it just for the fan rivalry, right? This is where you will see like fans getting just as heated and the players getting just as heated for one of those games. So that was the only thing I was referencing to that. But we do have the conference finals or on set. Anything that you'd like to add as far as the Pacers Knicks game?
No, I listen. We can talk about Brunson and the injury. He broke his hand. They were down 20 in the third quarter. Now, that's not to take away and say that
it was closer. It was closer when he did that. I think they were down by 12. I watched that game from start to finish. But no, they were making a run. They were making a run. I will say that.
All right.
And that kind of ended that.
That was it.
Real quick.
DiVincenzo goes off for 39. An incredible performance by him. But yeah, it's just too much. I mean, you can't lose if you're going to lose. Bogdanovich, if you're going to lose OG Anunoby, if you're going to lose Jalen Brunson, if Josh Hart's going to get hurt, if you're going to lose Julius Randle, you're not going to be able to compete. It was a great story in New York by all intents and purposes. I mean, hats off to the run that you went on.
Absolutely.
I think that they'll do some soul searching this offseason and see what they want to do with the Julius Randle situation. I think Julius Randle is still a perfect piece for them, and I think that just adding Julius Randle to that mix is fantastic. Now, what's going to happen with Hartenstein? Obviously, you also lose Mitchell Robinson as well, too. I forgot to mention. Hats off. And listen, the way they built the team. I think
that is a successful season.
And they have flexibility, and they'll be able to see what they want to do. If they want to, commit to Randall long term, he's eligible for a huge extension, or if they want to try to go out and get a different star to pair with Brunson, that's it. But if I was them, I would just keep that three together and just keep Randall and let them all play off of each other and draft well. And if somebody wants to come play for you, cool. Take a discount. Let's win a championship in New York, because we see how hyped that city is when they play good basketball together.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
And just real quick to touch on that, as far as what's going for the Denver Nuggets, do have some decisions to make. I do believe they're on tier 2 of the salary luxury tax, and I do believe they have somebody else that's coming up. So there are some decisions that you probably won't see this exact same team from the Denver Nuggets next year. So with that being said, our conference finals are set. Celtics, Pacers, Dallas T-Wolves. Let's get into it. Last night we had game 1. It was an amazing game. It was just an amazing game. The fact that Christian Porzingis still isn't playing, and maybe not till game 3 or 4, you could see a big difference with just when Al Horford struggled a little bit last night in his offensive performance. But to your point of what you were talking about, Ant-Man, one thing that I love about him is his defense, right? When his offense is struggling, he steps it up on defense. And Al Horford made some good plays, made some bonehead plays. But when you give him full-time minutes, being the oldest player on the court, obviously there's going to be some things. And then towards the end of the game, the Indiana Pacers started targeting him every single time to try to put him on the defensive end. It was a wild finish. There was no way Indiana should have lost this game. Absolutely. From the coach's perspective on his conference afterwards, he goes, there was a lot of things that had to go wrong for us and a lot of things that had to go right from them. And they all aligned, including me not taking the timeout, which, what are you doing? Right? There's 10 seconds left. Take the timeout, advance it to the half court. If they do steal it, they still got to bring it down. They get the poke out. They get the ball back. And then apparently in the huddle, Jaylen Brown just says, I'm going to be open in the quarter. Just give me the ball, which he said afterwards at his press conference. He was open when he caught the ball, but he was definitely not open when he shot the ball. And that thing went in. And then I still thought the Indianapolis Pacers could have won that game. They got their timeout. They advanced. I fully expected them to score. Drive to the hoop and score. Instead, they danced around the three-point line, put up a Hail Mary type shot. Goes to overtime. Once it went to overtime, I said, that's it. There's no way Boston is losing this game now. And they did not. 133 to 128 in overtime. What a game. But what a sloppy game by the Indiana. Why can I not say Indiana today? Indiana Pacers to finish the game.
I think you're trying to say Indianapolis, and you're getting. There's a disconnect there between you saying Indiana and Indianapolis.
A lot of disconnects going on in his head.
I just did it. An incredible game. I think you're going to get more of this throughout the series, especially if Porzingis doesn't play. Only because the advantage that Indiana has inside is rather egregious. When it comes to, listen, Al Horford cannot guard Miles Turner, bro. Like, that's a terrible matchup for the Celtics, right? Like, that. Sure, Horford could pull him out of the paint a little bit. Not really. I thought Naismith, if Naismith continues to be able to lock down like he played, I thought he was incredible. He obviously gets the unfortunate foul there at the very end on the Jason Tatum. Now there was a steal and a drive to the hoop where he was playing great recovery defense on. This was Indiana's game to win. This is the game that Indiana had to have. Boston hasn't played an up-tempo team in a month. They played the Heat, who are grinded out, slow it down. They played the Cavs, who we saw are the exact same way against the Magic. They haven't played an up-tempo team. So this was your time to come out and jump them and have them off their not ready. They haven't played like a week anyway. You know what I mean? And then here you come in and you have a chance to boom, come take this game, and everything is right there for the fucking taking for you. You play the perfect game. You have everything mapped out, awesome, and you shit the bed.
After going down, like, what was it, 15-0? Like the Pacers couldn't score for like the first 6 minutes of the game.
Yeah,
they were down big, and then the half court shot. And let me also just tell you this: that half court shot covered the spread in the third quarter. When he hit that, it was Pacers +3. I just want a little tidbit for everyone out there. It was Pacers +3. Boston was up by no, it was tied, right?
I don't know.
No, the Pacers were up by 1.
It made it
No, yeah. the Celtics were up by 4. The Celtics were up by 4.
Yeah,
he hits the last second shot to 3 to cover the third quarter. What this is going to be a very interesting series. Now, I will say this as far as what we talked about. If they could have stole game 1, the Boston Celtics game 2 are not good. They've lost game 2 at home, I do believe, the past 2 series.
Terrible.
Yes. So if you could have snuck out game 1 and then gone up against game 2, where they're usually a little bit lackluster, that could have been a huge advantage for them. I don't see that happening this time. I do believe the Boston Celtics will correct it. But Las Vegas and the bookmakers, can we get some respect on the Indiana's name? I'm sorry, +14? +14?
Yeah, that was an egregious line, bro. And also, we have to really adjust the over-unders because this is going to be an up-tempo, like they're...
Until Porzingis gets back, it's going to be a run and gun.
They want to run. They want to get out and go up and down. If I'm Indiana, the one thing that I'm going to circle to is you need way more touch presence or touches for Miles Turner, in my opinion. I know he gets 13 field goals up, but he's 9 of 13, 3 of 4 from the three-point line. But you only, as a team, shoot 10 free throws on the night. All right? I want you banging down Al Horford's back, blowing that thing out over and over again, taking the ball to the rim and trying to make something happen. Siakam was great as well, too. Halliburton was great. It was a really good performance. Now, the two situations that I have an issue with Coach Carlisle, you mentioned it, the one inbound, use the timeout. Like, stop fucking overthinking this. You see that it's going to shit when you have Siakam sprinting past the other way from your basket to come get the ball, and Jaylen Brown is right on his hip. You know what I mean? Like, you see the entire play happening, and I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, they're going to fuck this up. Oh, no, this is going to happen. And boom, obviously it does. The other thing, too, is that, and I know JJ Redick talked about it on the broadcast, and, of course, LeBron James backed his boy up after as well, too, on social media, saying, 10 out of 10 times you always foul there instead of letting them get the 3 up. Now, the problem is that you can't play inside leverage defense and let them catch the ball on the outside and then foul. That cannot happen. Right? If you get them a touch with 10 seconds that's somewhere maybe way outside the 3-point line or maybe, just inside the 3-point line, boom, you can foul, shoot your free throws, and let's go back and forth and do this thing. But you cannot play such denial ball on inside leverage to where they can catch a ball right there in the corner. Now Siakam can't foul. He can't put his hand out there and try to foul because what if the guy goes up, still gets the and or God forbid, gets the and 1, or you're going to give him 3 free throws. You know what I mean? So you put your players into a lose-lose situation there. I just thought it was a poorly drawn-up call. I hope Indiana learns from it. I still think this can be a really good series, though. I really do. I think, especially without Porzingis. Now, Porzingis comes back and plays.
I could see this definitely being a 2-2 game, 2-2 series before Porzingis comes back. And to your point, it was 100% where Jaylen Brown caught the ball.
Yeah,
I mean, you just can't let him catch the ball there. Because if you do try to foul, then he's going to make the motion that he's shooting. And like you said, God forbid he makes the 3.
God forbid he makes it, and then the game's over. You're like, well, yeah. Well,
so I love it. I love it when players that aren't playing. I've said this throughout the thing. You can't, as a player, and honestly, as LeBron, as the face of the league, whatever, it could be transitioning, but it's still LeBron's league, right? Whatever he says goes. You can't criticize a coach. I just don't, especially when your ass is sitting down. I hate that. This is why I foul 10 out of 10 times. Okay, LeBron, but you also didn't mention where he caught the ball, right? You can foul there, but he's going to get 3 shots. There's no way around it. There's no way around. But you don't want to add that context. But again, I'm from the Pat Riley old school days. If you ain't playing, shut your mouth.
I'm gonna say this. I think the only reason LeBron commented is because JJ was so adamant about it. He goes, "Listen, 10 out of 10 times I'm fouling every single time. Rick Carlisle does not foul in this situation. It's just the way it is. Every coach is different. Every coach has his own thing and the way that they do things. And what works for one coach may not work for another coach. But this is the way that I would do it. This is the way that he does it. So I listen. LeBron made the comment, in my opinion, backing his boy, who he would like to see coach the Lakers next year, and it was a little bit of a subliminal.
I can't see that either, dude. I know JJ Redick loves LeBron, and like I know that he considers LeBron his GOAT and all of that stuff. I think JJ Redick has an amazing basketball IQ. He knows he shit out more basketball IQ than I woke up with in my entire life. I cannot see that one bit.
I was watching this,
or giving Anthony Davis the business about, I just can't. Yeah. I can't see it. I can't.
I was watching this thing because it was about JJ Redick coaching his son's fourth grade team. And they have highlights of it, of JJ coaching his son's fourth grade team. They have highlights of JJ getting thrown out of a game. And JJ, they're like, JJ gets thrown out, but he's got to go. He doesn't get thrown out. He goes and sits in the corner because the fourth grader can't take himself home.
I can't. I'm here for it. I'm here for the experiment. We'll see. Let's move over to the Western Conference. We do got to move it along. We are running out of short time today. Dallas and the Timberwolves kick off their series tonight at 8:30.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to be a series. I know everybody is like, well, Minnesota's defense hasn't, faced a Kyrie and Luka, combo. And I'm just going to go the other way. Luka doesn't play defense. So who's Luka guarding?
Yeah.
Who's Luka? Who's Luka going to guard? That's my biggest issue here is that Luka doesn't play defense. So with Luka, Kyrie plays defense. So I'm assuming it's going to be Kyrie and Ant together, right? On both sides of the court,
right?
Since Ant called him out, I'm sure Kyrie wants to. I'm
sure he
wants
matchup for Kyrie. Like
I'm sure he wants to smoke though too. I don't see this being close. I don't. I think that unless there's a script out there that I'm unaware of. When I look at these two teams on paper and I look at the talent levels and the cohesiveness and the two-way basketball playing, I don't see this close. And let's see what the spread is here. The spread is Timberwolves -4.5. I think it's double digits.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. For all of you who hate LeBron James, and you say that LeBron James flops everywhere, and you say that LeBron James doesn't play defense.
Well, hold on for a second. He does flop. Let's just say that he flops. I think there's like a 15-minute reel.
Go watch your boy Luka.
He ain't my boy, but yeah.
No. I'm not saying your boy. I said for all those who who say LeBron flops, go watch your boy Luka.
Okay? They all do, man. I'll tell you, it's embarrassing.
Watch this series because this is I don't want to get too crazy with this, but this is the USA basketball standing up and trying to bitch slap these Euros, bro. In my opinion, is what it is, right?
They have one European player.
Okay, but Ant just put Jokic, who's one of the best European players, to sleep. Now he's got a chance to go put the actual best European player to sleep, and Luka, first, second, whatever. You can probably interchange the two of them, right? Greek Freak's up there as well, too. However you guys want to debate amongst yourselves, however it wants to go. And in my opinion, I just think Ant's going to take this challenge on. And I just love the way that they're built, man. I love Karl Anthony Towns playing great basketball right now. I think Gobert hears everything that we think that he doesn't and takes it with a grain of salt and just grinds away and gets better. I think they are better on paper, top to bottom, everywhere. Like, I just do. And I don't see – if I was Ant, I don't know why he already said I'm taking Kyrie. Like, I'd just be like, okay, I'm taking Luka. But I know they're going to put Jaden McDaniels on Luka. So we'll see the way that works out for him as well too. Mike Conley's going to be the X factor here. Them being able to drive the ball and get Mike Conley open looks for three. I thought if you looked at the last 2 games with Mike Conley, he played absolutely phenomenal, did everything he was supposed to do, knocked down open jump shots. I thought he was great. I completely agree with you though. Give me Minnesota in 5.
Who also have 2 Canadians and 1 French player on their team, by the way.
5, maybe 6, right?
I think
is Canada in Europe? No.
France.
I mean 5 or 6
France.
games. 5 or 6. Rudy Gobert's defensive player of the year. I'm not going to be like, oh, him and Wimbayama and
Rudy Gobert
and
Rudy Gobert. Yes, Rudy Gobert's France. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy? Neil Alexander Walker is Canadian, and
Nickel Alexander Walker, Shai's brother,
and Leonard Miller is also Canadian.
I don't even know who that is. I don't think he plays.
He's on the active roster, sir.
Okay.
We're just over here, guys. If you follow the show, you know we just love to debunk each other. It's just what we do.
You didn't. I don't know. What did you debunk?
That they have a European player on their team.
They do. His name is Rudy Gobert.
There you go.
He's the deep.
So it's not USA versus. It's not USA versus
years
Europe.
In a row.
Not USA versus Europe because Europe is on that team as well.
He doesn't play a European style of basketball.
Fun fact: Mike Conley is only one of 6 players left in the NBA that were born in the 80s. Little fun fact there from our 3 times from behind the scenes. We appreciate everything you do back there.
Who are the other ones?
I don't know. So we'll see what happens. That's going to go on tonight. NHL is wrapped up as well. We got our finals coming over there. Edmonton goes into Vancouver, survives Game 7. Edmonton was up 3-0 very quickly and was up 3-0 with 12 minutes to go. Vancouver scores 2 goals to put a little pressure on there. They couldn't get it done. They did have a couple nice late round tries. Unable to get it done. Sorry, my Vancouver people. You'll always have a place in my heart in that city, and if my team's not in, I will always root for you guys. But still a great year. Just went up against the juggernaut that is the Edmonton Oilers, who are just on a mission. The other one that we have is the Florida Panthers versus the Rangers. They're going to kick off tonight at 8:00. This is going to be a very tough series, in my opinion. Obviously, I've spoke about I took the Panthers to win the cup at plus 650 or something when it first started. They were knocking on the door last year. They got to the conference finals last year. I'm looking for them to get back to the cup and actually finish it off. This team's got the experience. This is going to be a very, very scrappy series, though, with the New York Rangers. Do not count them out at all. Do not count them out. And they have the home ice. They have Game 7. So Panthers are going to need to come out and attack quickly. Very quickly. You need to take one out of New York, and it needs to never go back.
If history tells us anything, though, New York will fall flat on their face, correct?
They should. Wouldn't that be something? Two Game 7s in New York, and they lose both? Two different sports? You deserve everything you get, New York. Yes. Charging Jeffrey $29 to see some 9/11 materials. Come on. And then 110 a person?
That's what the museum is at the highest package. It's 110 for adults and 100 for kids.
Is that a guided tour?
Yeah, that's the top of the top that you
right. So, but general admission is like $20, $25,
something like that.
Yeah, still egregious.
Basically, you buy a city pass for like $80, and it gets you entry to 3 different things.
Egregious. And then we do have Dallas and Edmonton tomorrow at 8:30. That series, I tell you guys, if you don't watch hockey, which I know Jeff's dipping his toe in here, and I'm just so excited for Jeffrey when he dips his toe into the hockey pool because he actually watched a game, which it was like last week, right? You watched it from start to finish, and you had a lot of great commentary on it. You're starting to pick it up. You're starting to see what's going on, and it only keeps getting better until we get to the Lord Stanley Cup Finals. This one's going to be a good one. Edmonton and Dallas, 2 high-flying teams. That series is going to be even a little bit better than the Panthers-Rangers, in my opinion. And then, of course, I do have the Panthers surviving. I think out of this one, I'm going to just go Edmonton just because you still have Connor McDavid. I can't remember the other guy's name, but he's like the number 2 player. There's just too much going on in Edmonton. There's too much momentum. It's win now or basically blow the team up. I think that they're all very, very committed. I think getting down to Vancouver, who is also a very tough team, scrappy team, kind of woke them up a little bit, like, oh, shit. and they came out with just guns blazing at Game 7. I look for them to come out guns blazing, and they do have home ice, so we'll look forward to that.
Shout out to two of my boys who hold big future tickets as well, too. I know Ian has a big future ticket on the Florida Panthers. David Simmons with a big future ticket on the Edmonton Oilers, which I gave him a hard time about. I go, you put a future ticket on a Canadian hockey team to win the Stanley Cup? That's ballsy. But listen, great job, both of you guys. I hope you guys get a little sweat to go with each other in the Stanley Cup finals. That'd be an amazing thing.
Real quick, we do have a little PGA talk here because we do not have the boys this week. We had a wild week of Valhalla, which saw a lot of different things happen. The biggest one of all, obviously, there was a death on Friday outside that caused a lot of commotion, a lot of stuff going on. Scotty Scheffler ends up getting dragged out of his car, taken in handcuffs over what appears to be a miscommunication. And of course, I don't know if you know this or not, there's no body cam footage. Of course there's not. Why? I don't know. Probably because they weren't on official police business. It was like a, extra security detail or no, actually they were responding to that death. So there's no reason for them not to have their cameras on. But anyway, he gets arrested at 6:30 in the morning, comes back, fires at 66 to put himself in contention. And then I think Saturday, it just caught up to him. I think, all of the emotions, everything just caught up. You end up shooting 73 on Saturday, making it very, very difficult to come back. He did shoot a 65 in the round 4 to finish tied for 8th with 13, which was a great performance. I'm telling you right now, if he doesn't go to jail on Friday, there's no doubt in my mind he wins that. Xander Schauffele does win wire to wire. Bryson DeChambeau puts a 64 on Sunday to put pressure on him, which he made a good putt. I think it was like a 6-foot putt on 18 to win. And, shout out. It was a great tournament, right? The guys were throwing darts. It wasn't necessarily the most competitive, in my opinion, when it came to that. It wasn't a whole lot of like strategic course management. It was literally just fire at the pins and the ball will stop. But still, great tournament. Shout out to Xander Schauffele, wire to wire winner. And, yeah, I mean, I don't know who the boys had. Did the boys have Xander? I don't think so, right? Because I think Chad was saying anybody but Xander.
Unfortunately, the boys, Bryson was on there.
Was that your guy when you sent out the text? Our guy can have a good day today.
No, our guy was Sahith Theegala. It will and always will be Sahith Theegala, and we had 75-1. Me and Chad had 75-1 tickets on him. You're going to Sunday, you're like, all right, we got 75-1 tickets on this guy. Like come on.
A lot of those players struggled on Sunday.
And Sahith is a guy who God, man, he's just the most likable fucking dude. And you root so hard for him with your heart. And listen, bigger and better days ahead for Sahith. Congratulations to Xander. The monkey's on your back until you get it off. And obviously he's got a gold medal. And he's, in Ryder Cups and, he's been successful, but this is the first time that he's won a major. And we've seen a lot of collapses by Xander on Sundays when it comes to majors. You can think about the Masters against Matsuyama and other things. And it was just, I felt great for him to be able to get it done in that moment.
Yeah, sure.
I don't, what's up?
I was saying, and to do it wire to wire.
Yeah, and wire to wire.
Fired a 9 under the first round. And then who was the other guy? The Irishman, Shane Lowry. Was it Shane Lowry?
Shane Lowry went crazy. Yeah,
62 on Saturday.
Justin Rose.
Justin Rose comes back, and those are the guys that I was looking for because as that field got really bunched, I'm like, this is going to be an amazing Sunday. This is going to be a great Sunday. They're still just throwing darts, and the Justin Roses, the Colin Morikawas, the Lowry, they struggled on Sunday.
Morikawa makes 1 birdie and it's on 18, on Sunday, and so it's just one of those things. I thought it was a great tournament. I thought it was incredibly entertaining. I don't know if any single player has flipped their image when it comes to PGA Tour fans more than a guy like Bryson DeChambeau has. He is, and I don't know if it was when he stopped. I don't want to say steroids, whatever the physical stuff that he was doing. He's still very analytical. Everything that he does. Like I was watching this thing he was talking about on Tiger about how he putts the ball and about the way that the dimples line up on the ball. And there's certain dimples that line up and make a straight line. from one to the other, and that's where you draw your line at on your golf ball. That's where it's supposed to be, so that you want. Because if you don't do that, then you can get variance on a 5-foot putt horizontally, but not vertically. Anyway, the guy is brilliant.
I'll tell you, watching him putt is tough. His putting stroke looks like
dog
shit.
He's been one of the best putters in the PGA Tour, or in majors lately as well. I just the likability of the guy as well in terms of different things that you see. Whether it be him on a live driving range, messing around with guys, doing a shoey, in front of everybody, or whether it be him walking off the 9th hole at the PGA Championship on a Sunday and tossing a ball to a kid and seeing a grown man step in front of the kid and grab the ball and waiting there until security removed the ball from the guy's pocket and gave it to the kid and then walking off.
The guy brought it back and gave it back.
Let's
not act like he was.
No. But let's also not act like Bryson didn't stand there for a while.
Oh, he did. No, he went straight over to the line.
Back.
You know what really helps? You know what really helps a guy like become more relaxed and just start to enjoy their surroundings? $50 million.
Yeah, and I think being comfortable in your own body and comfortable with who you are, and like people don't like you, fuck them. Like it is what it is.
Fun fact from the 3-time here. You asked what were the other players in the NBA that were born in the 80s. That is Al Horford, Markieff Morris, James Johnson. Are three other players. He doesn't have the last one. So we have 5. But yeah, it was to your point, it was a great tournament. Yep. I enjoyed it. Like I said, it's kind of like one of those things that you talked about, Tiger, a lot of people didn't like Tiger. Then he went through his little thing and now most people like Tiger now. I
didn't like Kobe until he got the whole rape thing in Vail. And I saw him like be humanized by it. I saw the man not.
I was just that could have went down 2 different lanes. I was just wondering which one you were taking.
When it comes to the whole Scotty thing, though, and listen, it can't suck more than you going through that situation and you're running off. First of all, if anybody has been through the system, and for the guy to ask Scotty and be like, "You want the full experience? I got a bologna sandwich. There's some American cheese that's still in a wrapper." You know what I mean? Like, okay, we get it, bro. Shut up. That's not the full experience. Let me be honest with you. I can tell you what it is, and it's not that.
It's not. I don't want to hear another Drake video coming from you.
No, it's not like that. But what I'm saying is that for Scotty to go through that and get out in the time that he did, first of all, fucking unheard of. Second of all, for him to go out and shoot 66 the next day, Ted Scott, I think is his caddy, incredible, right? But he knew going into the tournament that Ted Scott's daughter was graduating on Saturday, and he wasn't going to be there. And when all your adrenaline wears off and things finally start to sink in, and you finally start to like mentally decompress everything that happened and what you went through, I should have known Saturday was going to be one of those days. But for it to be the only round this year that Scotty has shot over par, I think is incredible, dude. Like, it had to be in that situation. So it had to be in that situation. Like, that's how good Scotty Scheffler is it had to be without his caddy, right? And him having just one of his boys walk around with them on the day, on a day where he was struggling so hard. But for him to have that and then also be mentally decompressing everything that he went through the day before, tough situation. And listen, obviously, thoughts and prayers to the family of whoever the person was who got hit and life was tragically lost. It's unbelievable. But in that situation, and I understand tensions are high, but not like the Louisville Police Department has the best track record right now when it comes to a lot of things. And so for them to just have another fucking mark on their face, just it sucks, man.
Pretty bad. 3-time chiming in, his caddy on Saturday was the chaplain of the PGA. Got father on the bag. Last thing to wrap it up real quick here. The NFL schedules did drop. I will tell you, from the Bears' perspective, I'm actually pretty excited. Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
And get off to a hot start.
Well, I mean, we got Tennessee at home to start off. Then we're going up against Houston. It's gonna be a tough game.
Maybe.
In Indianapolis could be a tough game as well. LA Rams should be a tough game.
Win.
Then you got Carolina and Jacksonville in Jacksonville and England.
Win. So you're talking 5-1 right now.
That's who's the loss? The Rams?
No, I gave you Houston as a loss. If you do beat Houston, then there could be another pop-up. But I think 5-1 is a legitimate start.
So then bye week, and then Washington, Arizona, New England. That's
8-1 to start the year.
So think about this. We have 9 games for Caleb Williams to get his feet under before we start the gauntlet of the NFC North. Then we go Green Bay, Vikings,
7-2 on the low end.
We got then coming up. Then we go Green Bay, Minnesota, Detroit, San Francisco, Minnesota, Detroit, Seattle, then Green Bay. So the end is going to be a little bit tough, but
split with Green Bay.
He should be settled in, ready to go on that. So I couldn't be happier with the schedule. It's a little weird that you don't have any divisional games till week 11, but it is what it is. And then looking over at the Tampa Bay side, which I know you don't really. It kind of is what it is at this point.
Just re-sign Tristan Wirfs, and we'll have the best offseason ever. That's all I really care about right now.
Yeah. But it's getting that time, folks. It's about football season. I'll tell you that. I couldn't be happier. Anything to wrap this up with, Jeffrey?
Yeah. I sent this out to the group, and real quick, just to wrap this up, if you're looking at, there's a guy Warren Sharp on Twitter. Definitely follow him. Great NFL information, but he gives out basically net rest equals total days of extra rest versus a team's opponents over the course of the season. Plus 16 all the way to Baltimore. So you expect Baltimore to maybe have some wins over replacement value. If you're looking for total over-unders, minus 21 for the San Francisco 49ers. They have the absolute toughest travel schedule against their opponents that is super swayed. If you're looking for a nice under, Brock Purdy maybe comes back down to life here this year. And you see San Francisco take a step back. So the other ones, Indianapolis and Denver are really down there. Seattle's really down there. The Chargers and the Saints are down there as well too. And then Miami, Tampa Bay, -8 and -7, kind of whatever. So
we're almost there. A couple more months.
Do want to give a big shout out to my son, Noah Schneider. Congratulations, buddy. Graduated 5th grade yesterday. We're so proud of you.
Congratulations.
Really, really happy, man. You're an amazing kid growing into an unbelievable man. So congratulations. I love you, bro.
Congratulations to him and all those that have graduated over the past.
And everybody. Yeah, whatever.
Absolutely. Well, we will be back next week to recap everything that's happened on. Be sure to catch a lot of this NBA and NHL playoff action. It is heating up as we get closer to the finals and closer to football season. Until then, if you're driving out over the week, please, for the love of God, stay out of the left-hand lane.
Be great.